What's up, boys? It's your man, the Mega Power, aka the Mega Power 64, aka the Mega Power TV, coming at you with a special edition episode of Steammates. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know what it is, what we do when we get in here. We're putting in the work every single day. Little recovery session after doing what I do in the gym yesterday. Shout out to my boy Ethan McClure out there. Ethan, if you're lurking and you're watching this, the Mega Power sees you, brother. So today what we're going to get into, big updates in the gaming community. First off, man, we got to get into the Nintendo Switch 2 right now. The Nintendo Switch 2 offerings, as far as what Nintendo is bringing from a first party games, they're just killing it right now. So if you're looking to get into a game or a game system, and remember guys, the challenge of doing Steammates, man, is right now we're at 130 degrees up there, and it's getting even hotter. So it makes it harder to think. So you really got to lock in and focus. So back to the matter at hand. Nintendo offerings, man, they're killing it. Today, the brand new Yoshi game came out. Pre-ordered Star Fox, which comes out next month. Let's see, a few months ago, we got Metroid. So right there, that's 3 heavy hitters. And if you've never played any of the Zeldas, they're available. Not really a huge Zelda guy, but they're out there. Donkey Kong, boom, that game is given 9s out of 10, 10 out of 10s. So definitely something to look into. And then just tons of random other Switch games. And so if you're tired of just getting on the loop of endless Fortnite, Warzone, all of that stuff, I would recommend getting in the Switch 2 this summer and just getting off of multiplayer and trying something different. With that said, if you're still looking to get into the multiplayer madness going on right now, Warzone is at an all-time awful area that it's at. You know, parkour, wall jumping into backwards butt slides on concrete, and then lateral movement that's somehow the same speed as running forward and backward, which is so weird to me, with no acceleration, deceleration, any of that stuff. I mean, I know we're talking about Call of Duty here. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. There's no thought in any of the physics. And if you go look at the team that makes the game over at Raven Studios, it's not a surprise that the game's in the spot that it's in. My phone's already having trouble with the heat, so. But what I will say, an interesting take today, though, or yesterday, a brand new game type in Halo Infinite came out. And I thought they were done with that game, and there's not a lot to it. It's kind of like a small mini update, but it's overdue. And it's something that I thought they should have done a long time ago. They started bringing in some of the maps from Halo 1, 2, and 3 and brought it into Infinite. And they're keeping the gunplay the same in Infinite, but the thing that they are changing is there's no sprinting, there's no sliding, and the jump height is increased. And so it's kind of have that classic Halo movement in the Halo Infinite engine, which I actually think is really good, and from an art style looks great. I think they hit it out of the park with that. And I thought the gunplay was a solid 8 out of 10. I actually enjoy the gunplay in Infinite more than I have Halo 2, 3, and forward. My favorite two are the original Halo and Halo Infinite. I think Infinite is that good. So it's actually been kind of fun to play. So you get to play on some of the old school maps with the current gunplay, with a little mix of the original Halo style. And I think that was something they should have got into a long time ago. And I really wondered why, when Infinite came out, okay, we knew that was rushed, right? But you could have easily got some of the maps over into the game, and they just never did it. And here we are 5 years later, finally getting them. And I get the thought process. They didn't want to compete with the Master Chief Collection, but it was just, they're 2 separate games, 2 separate player bases. It was just time to get that stuff in there. And the thing I like about Halo is the old school maps still play well, even in the new engine. because the core of the game is still relatively the same. Even if you kept the sprint in with the sliding, it still plays pretty well. Where like Call of Duty maps do not translate at all with the ADHD out of your mind type of stuff that's going on. So that's definitely something, if you're interested, I would recommend checking that out. The other game I fired up this week, first time in like 23 years, was Counter-Strike. Now, obviously, we're on Counter-Strike 2. This is completely different, but you get the general. Counter-Strike is Counter-Strike. It's still probably, in my opinion, the best shooter out there. There's no aim assist. It's just a completely brutal game for you if you're not ready to, like, you got to be locked in for that game. You have to know the maps. You have to know every angle. And even the guys who do still get dominated sometimes. And you got to be ready to peek corners and just get taken out without seeing it. And sometimes, like, not being able to move very well in the game gets a little frustrating. But when you compare that to Warzone, the two opposites, it's just it's such a good game. It's nice to get away from some of the quirkiness of Valorant, but Valorant has its spot, but Counter-Strike's still better. So definitely would recommend looking into that. I know Doc's been on Apex Legends. If you like charging batteries and stuff like that with like cornball Valorant gameplay, but like just go ahead and play that, but I'm going to pass on it. Any other things? Then Fortnite is Fortnite, man. I don't know how people are still playing that stuff, but shout out to my boy Ethan. I know he loves Fortnite because he's afraid to upgrade his system to play anything else. So hopefully one day he can turn it around and join the rest of us in the online gaming community and play some of the good stuff. But then that's all I got, man, on a special edition of Steammates. It's up to 1:38 in here. And we're starting to cook, starting to sweat through, getting the recovery in. And so hopefully we can get the Booger Man back in the chat, back in the stream this week. We're kicking off episode 1 the other night of the I can't even remember what I titled it, man. The Supersonic Stream Summer Bash. We got to get episode 2 underway. We're going to be streaming all summer long. We'll probably get on the Switch 2 a little bit. Probably get on Halo a little bit tonight, get that going, maybe episode 2. As we head into Memorial Day weekend, I don't know if you guys know, but like sometimes, I take a break on these holidays and the Unchosen One makes an appearance. So I might put a phone call out to him or a little text, be like, yo, bro, you want to make an appearance? And we'll see if we can get the Unchosen One back in. He used to stream, Apex and all that stuff. So who knows what we'll get the Unchosen One on this weekend, but definitely tune in for that show. But other than that, man, stay locked in, get in the gym, get in the sauna, start putting in the work, put your wives to bed and get online and play some games. It's your man, the Mega Power TV, and this is a Steammates session. I'm out.